Welcome to the channel, where we explore the latest stories from the world of Turkish celebrities and entertainment. If you're here for genuine insights and emotional journeys behind the public image, you're in the right place. If you enjoy these stories, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. It truly supports what we do here. Today's spotlight is on a moment of rare emotional transparency from actress Yağmur, Yüksel, an unexpected and powerful piano performance that left fans stunned and moved across social media platforms. In a world where celebrity stories often revolve around drama or romance, this act of quiet expression has shifted the conversation, bringing to light a different side of an already multifaceted artist. The video in question, uploaded by Yağmur herself on her verified Instagram account, shows her alone in a softly lit room, seated at a piano. Dressed in simple, understated clothing, without elaborate makeup or fanfare, she played a piece described by listeners as melancholic, poignant, and deeply expressive. There were no words, no captions, just music. But somehow, that silence spoke volumes. Almost immediately, fans and fellow artists began interpreting the music as a symbolic message, an artistic confession of a love story that never reached its conclusion. Many drew a direct connection to her past rumored relationship with Barbakta, a fellow actor and frequent collaborator with whom Yağmur shared undeniable on-screen chemistry and, according to many, a real-life bond that extended beyond professional obligations. While neither Yağmur nor Bar ever officially confirmed their romantic involvement, their interactions, public appearances, joint interviews, behind-the-scenes glimpses hinted at a closeness that surpassed that of colleagues. For months, the entertainment press and fans alike followed their story, tracing a relationship that was at once intensely private and inescapably visible. Over time, however, that visibility began to wane. They were no longer seen at the same events. Their interactions on social media grew sparse, and in interviews, questions about one another were met with polite redirection. It was never made official, but the absence was telling. Something had shifted. Yağmur's piano piece has reignited that emotional narrative, acting as an unspoken reflection on what once was. Professional musicians who analyzed her performance noted the unique emotional quality of her playing. Her technique, while not virtuosic in the classical sense, conveyed a raw and unfiltered sincerity. Pauses lingered like unspoken words. Crescendos built like waves of unresolved emotion. There was a grace to the performance that made it feel less like a recital and more like a private moment that the audience was allowed to witness. Social media responded in kind. Thousands of comments flooded in within hours. Fans from across the world praised her vulnerability. Some wrote that the piece made them cry. Others shared their own stories of heartbreak and healing, echoing the emotional resonance of Yağmur's playing. "I've never heard a piano tell a story like this," wrote one commenter. "It's as if she poured her soul into every key." The response wasn't limited to the public. Prominent figures in Turkish cinema and music shared the video, applauding Yağmur for her courage and artistic depth. Cultural critics remarked that the video marked a new phase in the actress's career, one where she's no longer just a performer of others' scripts, but an author of her own emotional narratives. Meanwhile, Barbakta has remained notably silent. While he continues to fulfill professional obligations and post occasional updates, there has been no comment on the video. Some sources claim he was moved after watching it. A few reports even suggested he revisited old shared moments with Yağmur following the post. Whether these reports are grounded in fact or fueled by fan speculation, one thing is certain: the video has stirred something within the collective memory of their followers. In the days following the release of the piano video, rumors began circulating about possible symbolic intentions behind the piece. Was it a farewell? A message of reconciliation? Or simply an act of healing? Yağmur herself has not clarified, maintaining her silence on the matter and allowing the art to speak for itself. It's this ambiguity that has allowed the piece to take on universal meaning for so many. Amid the emotional weight of the video, Yağmur continues to move forward. She's currently considering several new roles, including an international film that would ironically require her to play a pianist, a coincidence that fans have already dubbed serendipitous. Additionally, she has expressed interest in launching a program to bring music education to children in underserved communities. with a special focus on using music as therapy for trauma and emotional development. In the weeks that followed, the emotional echoes of Yağmur's piano performance did not fade, they evolved. The video continued circulating across international fan pages, reaching not only Turkish-speaking audiences but admirers of cinema and music from different cultural backgrounds. Subtitled translations began appearing, allowing viewers from across Europe, the Middle East, and even Latin America to connect with the piece on their own terms. Some created response videos, covering the melody on their own instruments or dancing to it as a tribute. In this way, what began as a deeply personal moment transformed into a global phenomenon of emotional expression and artistic solidarity. Moreover, several therapists and educators began referencing the video in discussions about emotional literacy. It became a case study in how nonverbal expression, particularly music, can convey complex inner states when words fail. Yağmur was unexpectedly being cited not just as a public figure or actress, but as an example of emotional courage and artistic authenticity. Invitations began pouring in for her to speak at creative workshops, to collaborate on interdisciplinary projects involving music and mental health, and to mentor young artists navigating the emotional toll of fame. And yet, through all this, she remained measured. There were no interviews chasing virality, no sudden rebranding. Her only public statement came in the form of a brief, handwritten note posted on her Instagram story. "Thank you for listening. That is all I ever needed." That single sentence resonated just as powerfully as the music itself. It was a reminder that in a world so often flooded with noise, the quietest expressions can become the loudest. Meanwhile, attention continued swirling around Bar. Tabloid columns began speculating on his silence, dissecting old interviews and appearances for hidden meanings. Friends of the actor, when approached, gave respectful but vague responses. "He's reflecting," one said. "He respects what she did," another offered. Still, the public wondered, was he moved, regretful, grateful, or simply unable to respond in kind? There were whispers that the two had exchanged private messages, and that they may even have met in person shortly after the video's release. Nothing confirmed, nothing denied, and that ambiguity only deepened the allure of the story. Because in the end, it was never about scandal, it was about connection, or the loss of it, or the hope that maybe something beautiful can still bloom even from the ache of letting go. For many of their fans, Yağmur and Bar's story has transcended typical celebrity gossip. It's become something symbolic, a mirror in which people see their own stories of love, silence, endings, and transformations. The piano became a vessel for every message left unsent, every hug not given, every tear not shed. And Yağmur, perhaps unintentionally, became a voice for those who carry unresolved feelings with grace. As the dust began to settle, the legacy of that moment became clear. It wasn't about whether Yağmur and Bar would reunite. It was about witnessing a woman reclaim her narrative not through confrontation or explanation, but through creation. In doing so, she gave permission to others to feel, to grieve, to hope, and to move on in whatever form healing takes. So as she steps into new roles, both artistic and personal, Yağmur Yüksel carries with her not just the admiration of a fan base, but the quiet respect of those who understand that true artistry isn't measured by applause, but by authenticity. Thank you for joining us in this reflection. If you've ever found healing through art, or if Yağmur's story has touched something in you, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, take care and remember, sometimes the quietest voices carry the deepest truths.